And we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Monday Night Live with Alan and our special guest, MJ.
Hello.
Sláinte.
Okay.
That means cheers in Irish.
That's right.
And MJ, I didn't even know you were Irish.
Oh yeah,
You're
half.
like-
Yeah, I'm
you're half.
I'm a quarter English, a quarter English, quarter Irish, and then the rest is Eastern European.
Have you done that ancestry DNA thing?
Yeah, my relative did it. And
Okay.
yeah, they traced us back to Robert the Bruce.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Pretty
Yeah.
cool.
I'm in the Bruce clan.
Everyone say hello to Jessica.
Hey Jess, what's going on?
I just assume I say hello because I can't see.
Michelle.
Michelle's Melancholia
Good to
popped
see
in.
you.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you. I don't
Yeah,
know. I'm saying thank
Ancestry.
you. It's better than the other one, but go on, Greg.
Oh, we're talking about it. Yeah, I did the test.
Oh, you did too.
I did the test.
And what were the
And
results?
what did you find out?
I was like 48% European Jew, and then 12 or 25% English, and some other stuff like 2% Scandinavian.
Mhm.
Crystal, hello.
Good to see you.
That's all it came out.
There you
Oh
go.
well, yeah. I have a Jewish. I'm Irish on both sides. Totally Irish. But I do have Jewish ancestry in my history too.
Mm-hmm. Same.
Yeah.
Well, my father immigrated from France in 1940.
Yes.
He happened to just miss the Germans coming in and got to the United States.
Yeah, I know the story because I know Greg. But you can elaborate on that if you want.
I actually don't know a lot more. I was never told. It's one of those issues where it's like you don't talk about it.
So I'm like third generation Irish. I could claim ancestry there. I want to immigrate there, and with Harrigan on my side, I'm there. But I'm just joking. But you could claim like French.
I could. The only problem is you have to be fluent in French.
Oh.
And my father only taught me one word of French.
What was the word?
Do you want to guess?
Was it bien cuit?
It was not merci, but it begins with the same letter. It was merde.
Oh.
Okay.
I know what that means.
And I don't think that's considered being fluent in French.
No, but it's funny in French.
It's not even Spanglish.
All right.
I know more.
Oh, go ahead.
No.
About to say we've got like 5 people in the chat.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
Hello. So we have a couple things on our agenda. We want to talk about Small BookTube. We want to talk about Get Off Your Phone Challenge. And then books that we haven't read yet, or great books that we haven't read yet.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Al.
Hey, Al. Okay. All right. So, what do you want to start off on Small BookTube?
Sure. Just want me to tell everybody about Small BookTube?
Yeah, tell us a little bit about Small BookTube. I'm sure people know, but then I want to shout out just a couple.
Small BookTube is what, under 300 or under 5?
Technically, it began as under 100 for channels that were just starting out. So I started the series after somebody shouted me out, and the feeling that I had was just amazing, and I wanted to replicate that. And the channels that I was watching at the time were all bigger, and I'm like, how come nobody's talking about these smaller channels that have great content? So I said, I'm going to make a video and I'm just going to talk about a bunch of channels I really enjoy and maybe people will kind of catch on. And I said, all right, let's call it Support Small BookTube, because I was trying to get the bigger channels to recognize the smaller channels. So it started almost a year ago, and I just did episode 47 last week. I film over the weekends, and the episode comes out every single Sunday, and I highlight at least 4 or 5 newer channels to you that you may not know about, all different genres. I go through the BookTube newbie tag and welcome people. And some people I subscribe to, some people may not be my taste, but I always welcome everyone. And it just kind of flowed from there. So it's almost like appointment BookTube now, that is the day of the, Sunday is the day that I'm going to support Small BookTube. That's the only video you're most likely ever going to see, unless it's a holiday.
And unfortunately for me, it's like at 6 a.m.
Yes. Yeah.
So
sometimes.
I set my alarm for.
Yeah, it's never at the same time, which is good. It really depends on, how my weekend is going and what my day is, but it's always going to be on a Sunday for sure.
I remember when I got my first shout out and I was going like, wow, it was Noah.
Mm-hmm.
But everyone who reads it must converse and go like, wow, he's like a big booktuber who just said something nice about my teeny under 100 subscriber channel.
It really is. I wanted to replicate that feeling because it's so awesome. I wish I could put it in a bottle and just give it to every new channel and say, this is what you need to strive for. But I think by other people in the Support Small BookTube community going in and saying, hey, I saw your video, MJ sent me, it kind of starts this whole community chain thing, which is really welcoming and lovely to new channels. Hey, Gareth, how are you?
Indeed. So do you have any see the small booktubers I know under 500 are probably very well known by now.
Yeah. I mean, like Read by Fred was one of the first ones that I did.
Yeah, he's great.
Michael Romeo Talks Books. He just celebrated a year yesterday. Yeah.
And guess what? You just stole my 2 that I was going to mention.
Sorry.
Really good new booktubers.
I'm sorry. But yeah,
no,
Micah Cummins.
It means that we all recognize them as really good channels.
Yeah, Micah Cummins, I shouted out back in April, and he just hit, he's doing excellent.
He surpassed me.
Yeah, and I mean he has really good content to that genre that he loves. And we absolutely do not read the same things, but we get along as friends too, which is awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
I've got a lot of questions for MJ, but you go ahead.
No, I'm saying like, what's a few small booktube channels that you've been paying attention to recently?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't prepared for that question.
That's okay. That's fine. Sometimes, you don't even.
I'll shout out Flo at Grape Jelly Library.
Absolutely.
All day long, all day long.
Yeah, Flossie's wonderful.
Absolutely.
What'd you call her, Flossie?
Flossie. Yep, that's her name.
Her name's Flo.
Well, I know her as Flossie.
I think you call her Flosie.
No, not Flossie. It's Flossie. Flossie.
I think I'm getting it wrong. See, I'm already wrong. It's only 5 minutes into this show.
She goes by Flo, but I know her. I know her as Flossie. You can call her Flossie too.
It can become confusing.
I know.
Because you can call her a Floozy.
No, she's not. She's wonderful.
That's why I call her Flosie.
There you go.
Yeah.
I just call her Flo to be correct.
Yeah, she goes by Flo. Mm-hmm.
Florence. Okay, and this brings us up to the. I don't want to go here yet. So, Greg, go.
Okay. Any other small booktube that you want to mention, or just go into the Get Off Your Phone challenge?
Sure. That's another thing that I started. And that was I noticed myself going down a scroll hole, especially with Instagram. And I would wake up every morning and just go through the news and emails and all that. And then I go into Instagram and then I look at the clock and I'm like, I just lost 20 minutes of my life. And I really got sick and tired of it. And I said, you know what? I'm not learning anything. I'm not promoting much of anything. Like I would promote my channel here and there once in a while, but it wasn't anything that was of great value. And I wasn't receiving any great value. So I said, you know what? I'm putting it down for a month. That was the original, was that I was just going to put it down for a month. But what I did last week was I just deleted the whole thing. And it was so liberating. And yesterday,
Are you saying you deleted your Instagram?
I deleted my Instagram. Bye-bye. Gone.
I've never done Instagram.
You don't
I've
need
never done Instagram either.
I've
You don't
never
need-
done Twitter.
I mean, I've had Twitter since it was around in 2006. So, I was on Twitter before there were commercials, before there were ads on Twitter. But it's just something that wasn't necessary in my life and it wasn't bringing me joy. And I'm like, I'm just going to delete it. And you know how if you have an iPhone, you get that little message once a week and it'll tell you what your weekly screen time is?
I know that well.
Okay. Like Sunday at 9:15, you get it in the morning. My screen time went down 60% from last week.
Excellent.
60%. That's how much freaking time I was spending on Instagram. I'm like, and I finished 3 books last week.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Right
I did the 2 Cormac McCarthy's and then I did an Ian McEwan. And I'm like, perfect.
Yeah,
I've got Passenger on hold. It's available at the library. I don't even know if I want to read it.
It's good.
Alan, Passenger is, I don't think it's going to be one of his best books, like his early ones, but it's a little bit different. You can sort of tell it's an old man's book reflecting back on life.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to go into that book realizing it's called a novel, but you're not going to read it like a novel.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I've already heard about it enough already,
But I'm telling you what, you're not hearing the right things.
No, you're not.
Just read it.
So there's a lot to discuss.
Yeah.
Like,
so I should go in with fresh eyes.
You should. See, I have a question about the kid. Is the kid what I would call folie à deux, which is a shared delusion, or is he a messenger from some other power?
I don't know. I don't
know either.
I don't know. I had a lot of questions about that. I did.
And that's why some people really like it, because you can bring that book into a classroom and this side, folie à deux, this side, messenger.
Yes.
And you could have a lot of good conversations that way.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to pick it up.
Yeah. Now I did the audiobook, so I had a totally different experience than reading the written word. So the audiobook really played out much like a theater production. The narrators were fantastic. Right now it's the audiobook of the year. I know the year just started, but the narrators were on point and they gave each character its own unique voice. So
Did
you're
you
hearing
get the audiobook from Audible?
I just got it from my library.
From Libby.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got the audiobooks from Libby. And The Passenger was 12 hours, and then Stella Maris was 5 hours, and it was just sublime just listening to them. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm going to pick that book up then.
I bought the box set, and now I'm thinking maybe I should have done
that. That was a great video, Greg. When you showed the covers and stuff, that was a really good video. And I'm a Kermit fan. I've been reading them for forever. You know, if it wasn't for Faulkner, there'd be no Cormac.
That's what you
Period.
said. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now, when you talk about back to the get off your phone challenge,
Mm-hmm.
my problem is I watch the news videos of especially on YouTube news video, the political videos.
Yeah.
They and last week was how do we put a great comedy show on
Yeah.
TV show. I could not resist. Why I'm saying I'm supposed to be not watching this stuff, but
Yeah.
it's just like comedy gold.
Mm-hmm.
What, it was a comedy show about American politics?
No,
I can't imagine.
it was American politics that was the comedy gold.
If we ever get bored, we can go back to American politics.
Okay. All right.
We're not going to get bored.
No.
No.
Al's going, I prefer the audiobooks that deepen the book and add. Yeah, I totally agree.
100%, Al. 100%.
There are some audiobooks that absolutely just knock it out of the park.
And I'm telling you, The Passenger and Stella Maris are two epic ones. You're going to hear a lot about the audiobooks in the future, I think. And listening to the audiobooks now, next year, I want to dive into the physical book. Now I think I'm ready to tackle the physical book because his writing style is just so different. I didn't want to get frustrated with it, and that's why I went with the audiobook to begin with.
Are you new to Cormac, MJ?
I'm not new. I did The Road. I followed him.
Yeah, The Road sucks. I didn't like that.
The road is the road and No Country for Old Men are very weak. McCarthy.
Yeah.
Now I loved No Country for Old Men. The you know the. Okay, do you know where the title comes from?
Yeats,
Right.
Yeats poem, I thought.
Yeah, it's from Sailing to Byzantium.
Okay, Jessica says, do you guys recommend Child of God?
Child of God, fucking there I go with the F word. I'm sorry. Oprah Winfrey turned me on to Child of God. Oprah Winfrey, and she did an interview with Cormac, and Child of God is disturbing. Where's Criminality when you need him?
So that would, if it's disturbing, then that would be yes, Jessica, you want to read it.
Yes, she does. She likes disturbing stuff.
Well, you'll love this one.
I thought you said Kermit too instead of McCarthy. I just thought it was me saying he just sounded like Kermit, but
Cormac, you know, I get confused.
It's like Crowley.
Yeah.
Don't call me. Okay.
Oh, Jessica said, yeah, I recommended Jessica that she go for walks with audiobooks when she's talking about thinking about exercising.
Yeah.
And you know something? A walk is one of the best things you can do for your.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Absolutely.
That's what Stephen King did till he got hit by a truck.
Yeah.
Well, you know.
Accidents happen.
Oh, here's Al going, I just listened to Martin Buber's On Thou, and now I want to read the book, like Nietzsche's Zarathustra.
Oh.
I tried to physically read I and Thou, and that book is one of the densest books I have ever picked up. I mean, it is just mind-numbingly dense. And I got to like 30 pages, and Audible.
What was his other book?
Martin Buber, I can't remember his other book offhand.
I can't either.
But
now we're talking about old age again.
Free for members, so I should try that.
What was his book? Martin Buber wrote a famous book about atheism.
No, Martin Buber was a Jewish mystic.
Right.
I don't think it. I don't think it had. I mean, I didn't finish it, so I can't say that I know exactly. But
okay.
Oh, Michelle said also audiobooks while cooking. Yes, indeed. I was telling Alan, I made myself meatloaf last night, and I was listening to Douglas Adams as I was
That's fun.
making my meatloaf.
Yeah, Greg's a cook, I found out.
I am not a cook.
Well, you put jalapenos in your meatloaf, so you turn me on to that idea. I'm going to try that. You know, you could have made a sandwich, but you made a meatloaf.
Well, see, now when I had my dinner tonight, all I had to do was reheat the meatloaf, and there I was.
What'd you eat today, MJ?
I had a Greek gyro.
Mm.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. I haven't had one in months.
Yeah, I had a healthy one, so no tzatziki sauce, but it was good.
But with lamb or
Yep.
chicken or
Yep.
lamb?
Lamb, tomatoes,
Yeah.
some type of a lighter type tzatziki sauce. Yeah.
A real one. Yep, that's how I like them.
Yep.
Yeah, so that was my problem. Is like it's like I get distracted by the news cycles more than, and really I don't learn anything that I couldn't just wait till the end of the day and read a review. But you know, I see it and it's like crack. You just have to go back to these comments.
Yeah. So are you limiting yourself from the news cycle?
I'm trying to, but it's also on YouTube, so I can't limit YouTube because all of you are on YouTube. It's just it's a harder one to limit, but I need to get better at it. Just deciding I can skip this one. I know what the commenter is going to say from the headline.
Yeah. Little steps. That's all
it is. All right. Oh, Jessica, Greg, I'm reviewing a book, The Yanni Flower. It's so good, sci-fi, disturbing, and absolutely disgusting, but well written. I know you'd probably never guess how the story goes. I've not heard of that one before. So I'll have to wait for your review and put it on my list to get after I get off this stupid read what you own challenge.
Yeah. Are you doing the file? Are you going to stop at 100, Greg?
Well, I will not stop at one. I will go on through the 500 until someone else in the 500 quits.
Where's is MKV? Where's the MKV at?
He's at like 15.
Oh, okay.
I think he's going to quit around 50.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to make it that far.
We should all have like an informal wager
Should.
to see when people are gonna drop like flies.
Yeah, but I have my outs. That's the thing. It's like I'm being a BookTube prize judge, and if I can't get it from the library, I'm just saying,
yeah,
you know, that won't count because I have to do that part. But
or present, like MJ's birthday is coming up. So
that's right. That's right. I'm accepting all books.
You can definitely buy other people presidents. Oh, Alice coming back, not atheist, but the unity of spirit that restores Zarathustra and the Upanishads. Yes, that is I am thou. That is the meaning of self, God, and experience. Yeah, I think he does not go for the what would be the monotheistic descriptions of God.
I'm thinking of another author. I'm thinking about the guy who wrote. I'll come back to that.
Quick say, Brian at Bookish showed up. Hello, Brian.
Hi, Brian.
Glad you showed up.
Hey, partner.
Okay, so are you're not trying the read what the number read the get off your phone challenge, Alan? You're just letting that slide?
Yeah, you know, my life lately is chaotic. So I'm reading 3 books, but like one's a new one. So a buddy reading this with Courtney. MJ knows Courtney.
Yeah.
I turned her on to Marlon James. And what else? Like I'm rereading Confederacy of Dunces.
I love Confederacy of Dunces.
Yeah, so it's like my third or fourth or fifth time. So I'm taking it sounds condescending. I'm turning 2 people onto that book, and what else? And Naked Lunch.
Nice.
That I've read, so I'm doing that with Matt Wall, and so only 3 books in January.
That's okay. They're 3 good books.
They are 3 good books. I'm plowing through my 100-book challenge and I'm at 45 right now.
That's awesome. That's so good. I'm only at 15.
But I read short books, and I don't have a day job, so
yeah,
that really kind of
or a night job.
Or a night job.
Nor a night job.
All my job is scooping cat litter.
Oh God. Here we go. You should consider yourself lucky, Greg.
I am so lucky. I really am.
You got that 3-legged cat. You're blessed.
I am very happy when I adopted Pip. Because I told you this when I went into the shelter. We had 2 cats, and we have one 20-year-old cat who's sort of ornery and doesn't like our other cat, Teddy. And we wanted
more.
We wanted to get Teddy a friend because he likes other cats. He likes dogs. Mm-hmm. So we went in, and the thing is, you sign up to visit animals at the shelter. And we mentioned, like, these are the cats we want to see. And we went in, they've all been adopted. And I looked at the list. I saw this 3-legged cat named Trike. I said, I'll go see him. And I sat in the room, put him in my lap. He just rolled over. He did the cat. Said, okay, rub me. I said,
and what did your wife say?
I said, we're taking him. She says, well, we have to see another cat and see which one we love the best. So we went to see another cat. And the problem is you can't decide which one you love the best. So we took 2. And there was a 3rd cat that was banging on my head. And if I was not really careful, we would have come home with 3 cats.
Until Chris finally got you under control.
No, she was the one that would have said, "Oh yeah, well, let's take a 3rd."
Oh, yeah. I'm this close to adopting the Chihuahua, but I'm so unresponsible. I can't handle a dog right now.
Mm-hmm. Now's not the time.
No, dog. I mean, the thing about a dog is whatever you're feeling, at least 3 times a day, that dog needs to be taken out.
And we've talked about this. There's small little Chihuahuas are small, so I could get a dog kitty litter thing for my bathroom. I've already researched it, so I can do this. Mm-hmm. But it's not like back in the 80s when you could adopt a pet for $50. It costs like $500 to adopt a Chihuahua.
Yeah, but it's tax deductible, which is because you're making a donation. So I mean that's one good thing is that it's a donation base. They're not making a profit.
It's not about the dog. It's about them getting spayed and getting the laser and blah blah blah. But it's expensive.
Mm-hmm.
We adopted both of our cats for $100 at our shelter, SPCA. So look at, if money is that big, look at different shelters.
Yeah.
And don't necessarily think I have to adopt a Chihuahua. Go in and say, what dog? Right. All the dogs in there need homes.
Mm-hmm. And I was going to say, and also a lot of shelters have programs where the adoption fees are paid by a donor or a Patreon or something like that. And they just need homes. All of the fees have been covered already. So a lot of different shelters have events like that.
They do.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in that case, I'm getting a miniature Schnauzer again.
You know,
I'm going to manifest that.
the thing is, you will love the dog that you take home.
That's
That-
right.
You know, because the dog will
Yeah.
the dog will see that you're person, and that dog will adore you like no one else in this world.
Are you trying to make me cry, Greg?
No, all I'm saying is, when your life is ready for a dog, you can find a dog.
Okay.
When the time is right.
Next topic.
Next topic.
Yep. Okay. I'm trying to get through some of. We got some comment. Hey, Read by Fred is here.
We're
Hello.
talking about you, Read by Fred.
You got mentioned earlier in
Yeah,
this
hell
video, live stream, as
Yep.
one of our favorite small booktubers by Emily and me. We had both sort of thought of your
Read by
channel.
Fred should be surpassing me. And, I don't want to get into subscribers and all that because I really don't care.
No.
But Read by Fred is a great guy.
Mm-hmm.
His name's Fred, by the way.
Yeah.
I figured, unless he's going through a pseudonym.
Mhm.
Oh, Brian says big dogs are less demanding.
Small ones too. Watson's like a cat. I don't even know where he is right now.
Brian at Bookish knows about big dogs. He's
Mhm.
got Ike and what's his other one?
Is it Stella?
Zelda.
Big dogs.
and-
Yeah, I like small dogs. I like small. Watson is almost too big for me. You have a backyard, and a house and all that. Watson would annihilate me. I can't
Okay.
handle big dogs. I'm sorry.
And that's okay.
It's like I
It is
have an
okay.
Irish setter in the house.
All right.
Sounds are beautiful.
Okay. So one of the other topics is books that you have that are supposed to be great books that you have not read yet.
Mm-hmm.
And one I'm going to show up first is one Alan's going to know because it's going to be read for March of the Mammoths. The Recognitions by William Gaddis. We did JR in January of last year.
Big hard
And
book.
What? Yeah, this
Big
is,
hard book.
it's a big, hard book. And this one's even bigger. And it's actually going to be featured in a video. JR will be featured in a video I do tomorrow. It's already in the can and scheduled.
Nice.
But this is about art forgery.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'm looking for my JR book. I'll find it in a second.
that's all right. But William Gaddis had one of these immense minds that seemed to know everything about anything and could write it down in just a way that totally captivated you. So I will have to see about the Recognitions because as I said, I have not read this one yet,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm looking forward to it.
Nice.
Okay, NJ, Alan's getting his book. What you got?
Okay. Lonesome Dove.
Oh, Lonesome Dove.
Mhm.
Yes.
I'm going to read this for June on the Range. This is probably the biggest book that I've ever read in my life. Last year for June on a Range, a lot of people were just singing its praises about one of their favorite books of the year, one of the best Westerns they ever read. Epic story of the frontier. So I've committed to this.
Yes.
And I've actually got some subscribers on board with reading this along with me over at my channel. So this is set for June.
I've read that. Oh man, it's like 8 years.
I might
ago.
join you for that.
Yeah,
And that,
totally.
You know,
and
you
that,
read it, and you don't. I didn't even realize it was a Western.
Okay.
I mean, you read. I mean,
Okay.
it's set in the Old West. He said, because you don't think of it as the way you normally think of a Western, but it is totally a Western book. And
Yeah.
it was.
Okay, I
Just,
want to talk about Larry
800
Nicholas
pages?
here.
and I read it in like a week. It's just like flew through it.
That's awesome. I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully I'll fly through it.
Okay. My turn?
Yep.
Yes.
No. I'm joking, guys. Larry McMurtry, I met him in Mesa, Arizona. He owned a bookstore there, an old bookstore with like wooden floors and ladders. It was a big bookstore in Mesa, Arizona. And I met Larry McMurtry. He's very nice, very, friendly. So I love Lonesome Dove, and I think I'll join you with that, MJ.
Totally.
And the sequel to that is called Streets to Laredo.
Hmm.
Sequel. There's a sequel to Lonesome Dove, by the way.
Okay.
But that is a great book.
I'm looking forward to it.
All right. I have another one that is tentatively scheduled to be a buddy read later this year. This is The Man Without Qualities. It's too big to fit in one volume.
Oh my goodness.
The second volume ends at, hold on. This is the second volume. They
laughing out
do a
loud
page
already.
count over 2 volumes is 1,763 pages long.
Whoa.
This will absolutely be the longest novel
Wow.
in word count that will have read. I'm hoping that this buddy read goes through. It's going to be with Ms. Reads a Lot and Fraser Simons
Mm-hmm.
sometime April or May. And it's probably going to be a multi-month read because, again, this is translated from the German and
Mhm.
supposedly it's like incredibly dense.
Wow. Like a seasonal read.
I'm still trying to find my copy of JR. I know it's around here somewhere.
Okay.
JR is a big hard book.
Hey, MJ, Crystal says, I want to join on Lonesome Dove.
You're in, Crystal, over at the Discord. I'll get set up one of these days.
Oh, yeah, Courtney, that Man Without Qualities will keep me very busy. And I'm supposed to be on this Read What You Own challenge, and that's not going to help. It is definitely not going to help.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that I finish with the 100 book challenge before then, and someone else drops out of the 500 book challenge, so I can say, "Hey, it's over. I'm out too." I will not be the first one to quit, though.
No. Place your bets.
Right now we have MKV, David Wiley, Sumner at what's her new channel? Sterling Reads is her new channel name, and
Wow.
I think Ollie Swartas said he might do it, but I think he's not really committing to the 500 book challenge.
Yeah. Sounds like he's sticking to 100.
I think so too.
Oh, War and Peace.
War and Peace.
Wow.
I read that.
My
this
bucket list.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's my bucket list book. I'm going to read it solely with 2 editions. That's the new one. But I'm going to get the other with, oh God, I'll forget. Anyway, and I'm reading this by myself with the help of commenter extraordinaire Claire Shepard in England. Is going to kind of walk me through it or whatever. But I'm going to read that by myself. Nobody read, no.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm going to do it.
Cool.
It's a book that you just have to fall into. It is just so immense. It's just. I read probably over 2 different translations, and mine was just practically. I bought the Briggs translation to read. and I was supposed to finish it before I went on a vacation to.
Yeah, this is Anthony Briggs. It's
Yeah.
Briggs.
And I was supposed to have finished reading it. My wife and I in March were going on vacation to Dominican Republic, and it turned out I wasn't finished. I wanted to read some, but it's a big book I did not want to take on the plane. So I switched over to a different translator about halfway through. But it's still good.
Yeah.
Okay, MJ.
Okay, I want to ask.
Oh,
Go ahead.
no, ask your question, Alan. Then MJ can show her next book. You got a question, Alan?
I have a few for MJ, but
All right, maybe let's go on to MJ's next book.
Okay. So I love Steinbeck's work. Best book on my shelf. I've never read East of Eden. Never
Ooh.
read it. Never read it. So I think I'm going to set this up for myself over the summer, one of the months. It seems like a summertime read for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love Steinbeck, and I'd really love to dive into this.
East of Eden is my favorite Steinbeck.
Is it?
It's so great. Oh yeah, I've read it like 2-3 times.
Okay. Yeah, I've never read it.
It's very symbolistic. You know, there's going to be a Kathy you'll never forget.
She's amazing. But the thing is, Grapes of Wrath it's one of those books is like you're going to be on Team Grapes of Wrath or Team East of Eden.
Ooh, that sounds like a good book challenge for people that haven't read either. Do East of Eden and Grapes of Wrath and then battle it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm Team Grapes of Wrath.
I'm East of Eden.
I'm neutral because I haven't read either.
Okay.
East of Eden is the shite.
I dig that. And James Dean played one of the characters in East of Eden, right?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm a huge James Dean fan. I love James Dean.
Oh God. I mean, I do too, but I say, oh God, because, you know, his tragic life.
Yeah.
It's like Seth Morgan, Greg. Homeboy. You know, oh God, like James Dean is like Seth Morgan to me.
Okay. All right.
You know,
so,
Crystal, let's do East of Eden together.
yeah, I mean, I'm looking at. I got some notes down here. Because I haven't read East of Eden, but I have read Grapes of Wrath. Well, you know, maybe you can buddy read that, and
Yeah.
at least Crystal can duke it out and say which one she likes best.
There you go. Mm-hmm.
Al is going to Mice and Men.
We could do the Summer of Steinbeck.
Ooh, because you got
Great
Mice and Men in there. Al
Great
was going.
idea.
No, I've read that one. That's a good one.
And that's an easy one. I can knock that one out in a day, maybe a day and a half.
I may do that. That sounds like a good idea. Summer of Steinbeck.
I want short books.
Well, yeah, Canary Row, all that.
Yeah, Canary. Well, Garth was saying Canary Row is my fave so far.
It's good. The Pony is a good book. It's short.
Yeah. All right. So next one I'm going to hold up is for a project that I'm working on. I've sort of announced in a video, but not official announcement, is that I'm working on reading all the National Book Award winners in order.
Oh.
I've read a number of them, and I'm going to be rereading most of them. Some of them I'm just going to read parts of again. But one book that comes up, and this one won the Pulitzer Prize and the National Book Award winner. Alan, you should be able to guess this one.
Is it Dennis Johnson?
It's from an author you know. This book won the Pulitzer Prize and the National Book Award.
And it's not Dennis Johnson.
Nope.
It's not. Oh God.
Alan,
I give up.
A Fable.
I can't see.
William Faulkner.
What? Oh, the Fable. Oh my God.
That I don't know if it's supposed to be a good book or not.
I've never read that. What?
It's so outside Faulkner's wheelhouse. Everything he wrote was in his Yoknapatawpha County, and this is set in the trenches of World War I.
Wow.
So it's
Right.
It's just totally outside what he normally writes. So
Can you save it for August?
we're doing Absalom in August.
I know. I've never read the Fable though. That's Greg. You just surprised me. Thank you.
Now this one, this month, February, I'm reviewing Faulkner's collected short stories. I have read that book before, so I'm not going to read every short story by Faulkner because some of them are frankly not the great. But I'm going to review his major short stories for February. In March, it's From Here to a reread of From Here to Eternity by James Jones, and then March. This does not work for March because I haven't reading the recognitions. I may have to take a month off in March for this, but okay. Okay, Alan, what you got?
You want to talk about Faulkner?
What about Faulkner?
Well, I've never read the Fable, so
I have never. I said it's totally new to me.
Okay, I've read his like short stories and that. The thing about Faulkner is with his stories, they intertwine with his novels.
They absolutely. We discovered that in when we did was it the Hamlet? There's a short story called Centaur and Brass, which is about 80% the same as his novel that he just reused his short story.
Yeah. I mean, I could talk about effing Faulkner all day, so.
Yeah, MJ said we need to do Faulkner Fridays.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I'm not prepared for that.
It's okay.
That's a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
And I would love to do it, but it takes a lot of time and scheduling.
You could just you could do little short videos for people that aren't familiar with Faulkner too, like 5-minute videos.
I was thinking of doing a short story, not every week, once a month, like first Friday Faulkner, and just do a short story.
Or 5-minute Faulkner.
You know my deal? You want to know my BookTube deal? My deal is I delegate.
To who?
To Brian at Bookish.
Okay.
To Roz. I delegate.
Okay.
I don't schedule anything. I don't. I can't combine my mind like on a spreadsheet.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Oh, everyone say goodbye to Brian.
Bye, Brian.
He may be gone already, but goodbye, Brian.
Bye.
Thanks for dropping by.
Later, partner.
Okay. So I have to show one of my other books here. What would be interesting for people to look at? Let's go with this one. This is a Japanese novel, Beauty and Sadness. And I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce that Japanese name correctly because I would get it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And he, I believe, is the only Japanese author to have won the Nobel Prize in Literature.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, they have a long tradition of literature, and they've only won it once. And
I'm so ignorant about Japanese writers. I'm really ignorant about that.
I'm pretty ignorant too. And part of it is translation, is that Japanese is probably not an easy language to translate into other languages.
Well,
And,
kanji, and but
yeah, and I picked this one because this is a book about getting older. About this, as I said, I'm 58 and I'm feeling this I'm getting older kind of thing. So I want to experience more books about what it's like just to be aging. And I think this is about what? And the thing is, it's not a long book. It's 206 pages long, so fits really well into my 100 book challenge.
Nice.
All right. I want to get personal.
With me?
Yeah. Because I have a friend who I've known since third grade, and she's an artist and blah blah blah. But she goes by Mary now. She goes by Mary. Her name's Mary, but I know her by Jane, and I've been calling her Jane since the effing third grade. So I can't get over it. I bet I can guess your name.
Bet you can't.
Actually, I know your name because you sent an email with it, but
That's right. That's right. You keep that secret.
Well, we're going to divulge the secret tonight.
No.
No.
For security reasons, I can't.
I'm not saying a word.
You have to protect MJ.
I do.
Can I guess?
You can, but I'm not going to tell you if you're right or you're wrong. I've got a poker face.
I'm going to guess. Do you prefer sativa over indica? She's confused. MJ's all.
I'm confused too.
I'm not even answering.
Your name's Mary Jane. I know it.
No.
No?
No.
I'm wrong?
You're wrong.
Damn it.
Oh, Fred asked, wow, have you read any other works by Japanese writers? I have read some. I have read Mushima, The Sailor Who Fell from Sea with Grace, which I'm actually going to be rereading as an audiobook this year or this month. I have read a couple of books by Murakami, who's I kind of like it. He's really kind of weird in some of his books.
Yeah, that's actually one of the books that I picked out.
Oh, cool.
Kafka by the Shore.
We'll pick that up in a minute.
Okay.
I have read last year with Alan, we did Silence by Endo.
That was a hard book to get through. Oh man, so devastating.
It was an amazing book about the history of the Portuguese and
then the movie of it.
I did not see the movie.
Martin Scorsese directed it. Silence.
Yeah.
Martin Scorsese.
Oh, I know the book. I know the movie was made. It's just that I am one of those people. If I read a book, I just can't watch the movie. I just don't want to I don't want to bother with the movie after I read a book. And if I do watch the movie, I don't want to bother with the book. I want to keep them separate.
Some movies are better than the book.
Maybe.
I can name some. The Green Mile.
That's a title for a whole other show.
That is. That's a whole different subject.
Well,
Okay. Who's next? I just did one, so MJ.
Okay. Kafka by the Shore by Murakami. I've never read any Murakami. I have a few of his books on my shelves, but I hear this one is really good. So I don't know if I should start with it or not, but this is one that I definitely have to read.
It is a very good book. I have read that one.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked it. And it can get kind of weird. He gets into
cats. I heard about cats.
Cats, magical realism.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that's why I want to read it.
Gareth said, I read a strange but powerful Mishima book last year, and I want to read more. Which Mishima did you read? Just out of curiosity. Al, big fan of Nishitani and Nishida from the Tech Kyoto School. I just don't know.
Over my head. Whoop, whoop. Over my head.
Jessica, I can't the movie first and then read the book. That I can't.
True.
Al, sometimes you must leave reason aside and explore sense and nonsense. I kind of like that.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Okay, Alan, you got another book for us?
Well, I can't find JR. I'm trying to find JR. I know I have it.
Well, it's a book you haven't. This is supposed to be books you haven't read yet, and I know you've read JR because you've read it together.
Okay, here's one. How about this?
Oh, Salman Rushdie.
Mm.
I have that, and I want to read it someday.
Right, and we've never read it.
We haven't. I've read his Midnight's Children, which I really enjoyed. Have you read
I'd like to read that too.
That was just like a really amazing book. I've read it twice. Well, I've read it once and listened to the audiobook once. All right.
Yeah, I've never read Satanic Verses yet, but I'd like to in 23, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's on the TBR.
Oh, here's Gareth.
Oh my God, Gareth's here?
Yeah,
Gareth's here. He's been here for a while. I'm going to attempt to remember the Sailor Who Fell from Grace with the Sea. Yeah, that's the one that I read. It's a really wild book. And I said, I purchased the audiobook this month from Audible. Because what happens is that if you're an Audible member and you use 3 credits, they give you $10 to spend on books.
Oh, wow.
And that was like $4.95. And I said, I'll reread that. But
I want your password for Kindle, Greg. And I made a video about it, and I've mentioned it.
You've mentioned it. And you know something?
Your password is
keep on guessing like MJ's name, and you're never going to get it right.
Wow. Mm-mm.
I want your password for Kindle.
Keep on guessing.
All right.
All right. He's a great thinker, makes some great leaps. Jessica, off the subject, I'm changing it. We're poetry reading. I'm just mixing artwork with it, then acting. I'm always going to change it somehow. Yeah, you know, I love Jessica's poetry videos because she just puts in a different angle. You know, me, I get on the camera and I read the poem, and that's really all you're going to get from me.
Mm-hmm.
Although this week, I mentioned MJ, you're going to see something just slightly off kilter for me. And I hope it goes over well.
Well, I hope it's funny.
It's going to be awesome.
Gareth, how did you know my password is MJ's real name?
There you go.
How'd you figure that out? Okay. All right. So let's go for this one. This is an author I've always wanted to read. This is Simone de Beauvoir. She was
Yes.
married to John Paul
Sartre.
and I think she gets overlooked or put in his shadow a lot when
Yes.
she was actually a very capable philosopher and novelist
Yes.
in her own right. And this is a bit autobiographical. I think it's sort of autobiographical about her time in Paris, I think pre-World War II, with Sartre and all the other French intellectuals. And
Nice.
it's something I want to get to, but it's 600 pages. And I'm thinking, I got to get this 100-book challenge done before I can pick her up. I know I have a work of her short stories and a work of her philosophy on my Kindle. And it's time that I pick her up and read something by her. So that's...
Have you read Being in Nothingness?
By starting, no, that's just too much commitment to read a book of that philosophy that long, and it would just blow my
I read
mind.
it back in the 80s. I was into Sartre, and he's a playwright too. No Exit. You know?
Yeah, No Exit. I read No Exit. Was it first week in January? Yeah, first week. I reread No Exit.
Spoiler alert. Hell is other people. Okay.
I think people know that by now.
You would think.
We have Steve Donahue.
Steve Donahue.
Oh my God.
Hello,
Here we go.
Steve.
Hello.
Steve goes, the Mandarins is so good, although I think All Men Are Mortal is even better.
I want to ask Steve a
In
question.
other words, this one, I was dithering on which book to pick up and show today. Either The Mandarins or All Men is Mortal. And I guess Steve is saying that I should pick up All Men is Mortal. Even better. And it's 332 pages. So it's like 300 pages shorter than The Mandarins for my 100-book challenge.
I would like to ask Steve a question. The question is, in The Tempest, where they're going about Milan, talking about Milan, and then they stop and they say, no, we're going to call it Milan. And even in the folio version, there's like a footnote about this. But I can't figure this out in my mind. In The Tempest, they stop calling like Milan, Milan, Italy, and then they start calling it Milan. And Steve cannot answer the question why they do that. And it pisses me off.
Okay. Maybe he can enlighten you. Read by Fred. I'll be diving into Jules Verne for 2023. I picked up the collection, and wow, the ebook is 10,000 plus pages long. I had no idea Jules Verne was so prolific in his writings. Yeah, he was like the Stephen King of his day. He just wrote. And I have read 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. That's all that I've read. I think it was read by Fred. We're mentioning there was a movies with James Mason, the Journey to the Center of the Earth, where they get to see dinosaurs and they put like fake fins on a lizard to make it look like a giant dinosaur. And
Jules Verne, hell yeah!
It was a fun movie, and I have never read that book, and something I should probably look into someday.
Yeah. It's like going on an adventure. I like reading books where you can go on an adventure. Like Wilbur Smith, his pirate novels. I think Mark, Elvis is doing a pirate thing. I can't keep up with
there's some
all
sort
that.
of pirate event going on. The problem is there are so many events that I actually want to join that I just physically do not have time to join.
FOMO.
Booktube FOMO.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on, let's go. Al was going, I studied philosophy and in French. I was partial to Albert Camus. Well, he just said Camus, but I was referring the old rivalry. Yeah, I mean, I've mentioned this in some of my previous videos. Albert Camus, the novel The Stranger, which I studied as a sophomore in college, really made a huge impact on my life. It was just like probably the most influential novel I've ever read, just because I read it exactly at the right time, the right age to pick that novel up. And it was just speaking to me in all the right ways. And it just stuck with me over the years. I've read that book like 6 times.
Wow.
Maybe 7. Yeah, I have a graphic novel and an audiobook, and I read it every few years, like 5 years or so. And it's always, every time I read it, I see something new.
That's wonderful.
My friend Raz in England, let me get the camera steady. My friend Raz in England sent me a book. She sends me a lot of things. Let me catch my breath. She sent me a photo of Camus.
Nice.
That's a famous photo.
Smoking. Yeah. And just
Oh, Read by Fred is going like, I'll be reading The Time Machine this year as well. H.G. Wells is on my TBR this year. I think, surprisingly, The Time Machine may be my favorite science fiction novel. I know
that's a big claim.
It is, but the thing is,
that's a big claim, Greg.
He got it right. He did everything a science fiction novel is supposed to do. He got it. And it is like one of the very first science fiction novels ever written. And I think he just totally hit it out of the park. I love that, just the ideas. Even the characters.
What about Pynchon?
I would not call him science fiction.
You wouldn't?
You can sort of say sort of science fiction like, but if you were to go to a science fiction fan, they're not going to enjoy that book. Science fiction fans like a different type of storytelling. And even though you can technically say it's science fiction, I would separate it out because it's just not what they're going to like.
Yeah, I hear you.
You got an answer, Alan. Steve doesn't understand your question. Oh, that's a different one. I also experienced Camus at the right moment in my youth, if you know what I mean. I thought he had mentioned earlier. Oh, here's another one from Steve. I certainly can't. This is for Wilbur Smith. The first 40 years of their work is really good. I thought he had answered your question earlier. Here it is. I'm afraid I don't understand the Tempest question. Maybe that's okay.
Well, that's fine. It's for the Shakespeareans to figure out, But I thought I would ask Steve about it because he would know. And I kind of took it personally that he wouldn't answer me, but I guess he didn't know.
I guess not.
So I apologize to Steve Donahue. I'll resubscribe.
Okay. Who did the last book? Was that Alan or is that me? I think no. I showed Simone de Beauvoir, and we've
Okay.
gone
Right.
off. Were
It's
you?
on MJ.
Okay. Santa brought me this year the original Frankenstein,
Ooh.
the original text,
Oh.
and also two
Wow.
versions: Mary Shelley's earliest draft with Perry Shelley's revised text. So this
There we
is
go.
a must-read this year for me.
Right. What's the controversy about this? Like the 1884 version is better than the other one, and blah blah blah.
That's what I hear. So
Yeah, it's
We'll
between the 1818 and 1838, somewhere around there. Now, Mary Shelley wrote this when she was, I'm going to say, a girl. She was like 18 or 19 years old.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
I'm just blown away that an 18-year-old could write a book like that. It's just,
Well, consider who she was married to.
she wasn't married at the time. She was not married to Shelley at the time. But it is just so amazing that someone that young could come to the book that profound. I mean, there are problems with the book, I guess, but and the later editions, she sort of toned down some of her opinions based on criticism that she received.
Right.
And most people say it's like, no, she got it right when she was 18, and her older
Wow.
self was probably buckling under social pressure. Now, I did not do a side-by-side comparison, so I'm not a real expert in a line by line. I read originally the revised version, and then earlier this year, I read the 1818. And unless you're doing it really close together, you're not going to get that much of a difference.
Right.
I mean, the basic story is the same. The subtleties that are different. Oh, here's someone. Steve, the 1818 is immensely better than the later version, but the real controversy is, did Percy do most of the writing of the 1818 version? That is a question people have been asking for a long time.
I've never read it.
You would like it, Steve. Alan. You need to read Frankenstein. It's a good book. Whoever wrote it, it's a good book.
Whoever wrote it.
Here's Steve said, Shelley, Mary wrote it, and then like your version is that Percy comes in and cleans up her.
He revises the text.
He revises.
I didn't know that. I like some Shelley, but I didn't know he revised the text and all that. I'm a writer, I don't like people revise my text.
No, sometimes people need some help with there. But who knows?
True.
I mean, at this point, it's all academic, and just read the book and just admire it for being a great book.
Correct.
And the fact that really the bulk of it came from an 18-year-old girl, whatever it is. And that itself is just really amazing how well she did.
Right.
Okay, so Alan, it's up to you.
Oh shit! For what?
You're the next one up.
Showing a book.
For what?
Next one to show a book.
Show a book.
All right. This is a buddy read I'm doing with Aaron Fraser, and we don't have a date picked on it yet. But have you read this?
I have read that. It is
It's
amazing
scary.
that she tied her chapters to this astronomical chart because the first chapter is the longest chapter. The second is the second long, and the chapters keep getting shorter as you go along in the book. because she tied it to some sort of astrological chart, which of course I don't
Right.
know anything about, but people who do just
I
says,
do.
she said,
Mhm.
wow, she really studied this and understood the subject.
Awesome.
See, I know about natal charts and
Mhm.
astronomy and tarot and that. So I'm looking forward to reading the book.
Yeah, it's a good book.
All right.
All right. Now, earlier this year, I read a book for the first time that I really should have read earlier in my life, and that was The Magic Mountain by Thomas Mann. And
Yes.
I made the conscious choice to read that novel, just read it, because you could take one chapter of that book and study it almost endlessly because it is incredibly dense. But even just reading it, I was overwhelmed just by Thomas Mann, just how well he put this novel together. So I've had this for a while, but sooner or later, I've got to get into his next book. Now, this is, I think, technically 4 novels, basically dealing with biblical history. This is Joseph and His Brothers. And I just want to experience it and see if it's anything like The Magic Mountain or anywhere close to that phenomenal experience that I had reading The Magic Mountain earlier this year.
Right. Oh, shit.
Have you read that, Alan?
Yes.
Well, here's Steve Donahue. I was once overwhelmed by Thomas Mann, too, if you know what I mean. Okay, Steve. Steve, have you ever read Joseph? Well, what do you think? Of course, Steve has read Joseph and His Brothers. I mean, I would never put this on Has Steve Read It challenge because I know what his answer would have been.
Mhm.
But still, no, it's one of those things I have to make time for.
Yeah. Did we lose Alan?
No, did we lose Alan? He's
think he's
frozen. We did lose Alan. He dropped off. He'll come back in on a second.
He'll come back. Okay. He should be here for this one. James Joyce, Dubliners.
Yes, he should be
He
here.
should be here for this one.
Absolutely.
This is a copy I got at a library sale, and it is Dubliners, complete and unabridged. Got it for $1.
That's a good book for $1.
For $1. Yep. So, looking forward to it. Don't know when I'm going to read it. Isn't there a time of year you're supposed to read Dubliners?
It's Ulysses sort of in June because Ulysses takes on June 16th is Bloomsday.
Mm-hmm.
Now, according to Alan, he says you should read Dubliners, skip over A Portrait of the Artist, and
Okay.
go directly to Ulysses.
Oh, good to know. Okay.
That's his advice.
Okay. He's going to be so mad that I showed that book and he's not here.
He is. I mean, his phone may have died. His battery may have died.
Maybe.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Let's go for another huge project I want to do one day.
Oh, Al has a differing opinion about Dubliners. He said
Oh.
Portrait is even better than Dubliners. Then you read Ulysses.
Okay, so we have conflicting information here.
Controversial opinions.
Yes, indeed. Now, I actually read them in their publication order.
Okay.
I did Dubliners, then Portrait, and then Ulysses. And I
Mhm.
did them all as audiobooks. So sooner or later, I want to go back and reread them all. I would probably read the text with the audiobook,
Mm-hmm.
especially with Ulysses, because that is such a dense text.
Yeah.
And I'm a little prepared because earlier in 2021, I did a reread of the Odyssey of Homer. And I listened to some college courses to study the Odyssey. And now I feel like I'm ready to pick up Ulysses.
You're all prepped. You're ready to
I'm
go.
all prepped. Here's another one. Gibbon. Is it just the history and decline of Rome? Each of these is about 1,000 pages. With
Wow. Wow. Fred, is that right up your alley?
It might be.
Might be.
Fortunately, the Audible has an audiobook of the complete works, and it's like 70 hours long.
Wow.
So I would do the same thing as read along with the text. This is old prose.
Mm-hmm.
It's not always 100% clear to a modern reader, but
right. Wow. Okay. All right, let's see. Okay, this one definitely. Going back to McCarthy, Blood Meridian. I was supposed to read this for June on the Range this past year, but I just couldn't get into the subject matter. So I said, I'm going to wait for another time. So I think maybe this June, I might go back and forth between Lonesome Dove and this, maybe.
If you're reading Lonesome Dove, you're not going to stop reading Lonesome Dove.
Okay.
So
I have to. I can't toggle two books. I have to just go with one with blinders on.
I think once you pick up Lonesome Dove, you're just going to go with it.
All right.
You're going to go with it till you're done.
Okay. All right. I'm going to take your word on that.
That's the way I read it. I read it really quick for a long book.
Yeah.
I scheduled at least 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks to read it.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. I read it in less than a week.
Wow. Oh, Fred chimed in about History of the Decline.
He did.
Yes.
Yeah, plan on reading that when I retire. Yeah, I was gonna say we could buddy read it, but if you're waiting till you retire, yeah. I'm gonna be a really wizened old man going, huh? Rome? What's Rome? Because I'll be senile by the time he retires.
Oh gosh. Oh, that's funny.
All right. Gareth, I picked out for June on the Range, but didn't get too far. I read Shane, like you did too. Really, I read Shane. Did I read that I think I read it for June. I know I read it last year.
Yeah, I read it for June on the Range.
I think I read it for June on the Range too. It was actually a fun book.
Absolutely.
It was just like it's their classic. It's what you expect a Western to be.
Yes. And I will say, I read the book and then I was excited to watch the movie. I found the movie on Tubi Westerns or something like that. And the casting was fantastic, except for Shane. Totally not the picture that I had in the book. It was absolute wrong casting, and I shut it off. I couldn't watch it.
I remember reading a comment. I haven't seen the movie, but I remember a comment that when they told the author who they cast as Shane, he's like, "Are you serious?"
Yeah, I could absolutely understand why he would say that. Yeah, totally different in my reader's mind from what was picked up on the page. Absolutely different, and it just wasn't good.
Jessica's asking, where did Alan go? Maybe he someone came to his door, and I don't know. I don't want to make fun of his domestic situation. He's having some hard time.
Yeah, maybe his battery just died.
I think his phone battery just died, and we're going to go with something kind of like that.
It's good you have a backup tonight, Greg.
It is. Well, see, I'm on my laptop, but my laptop is plugged into a portable battery.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about me as your backup.
You as your backup. There too. And I got to say, it is really great having a threesome.
Oh God.
on this tube. Yeah. I know that sounds a little odd, but
It's nice to get some feminine energy into the boys club on a Monday night.
it is.
All right, is it my turn or your? No, it's your turn. Do you have
Is it
books
my-
left?
Did you just know? I just held up Joseph and his brothers. You held up
Cormac.
Cormac.
Mhm.
All right, another one I want to read one day is Sun in Splendor.
Mm.
This is the story of Richard III, but it is not Shakespeare's Richard III. It's a different interpretation of Richard III, and it's one of those that it's on my shelf,
Mhm.
and I want to get to it. I mean, I bought this book like 8 years ago, intending to read it right away, and it just never happened.
Yeah. Mhm. Now you make time for it this year. That's all.
Well, not this year because it's 936 pages long.
Do you have any thin ones?
I
You had a
showed
lot of-
one.
You had
thing.
you had a lot of chunks.
I do. That's the problem. Is all the books I'm really sort of are chunkers, but I'm on this 100-book challenge or 500-book challenge,
Mhm.
depending on how it goes.
Right. All right. So the next one that I have is we're going a little more modern now. Well, not too modern. I was shocked. I saw something online about this book, and they said it was. I'd have to check the publication date. Hold on. I want to say 30 years old. Oh my God. The Secret History
Ooh, The Secret History
by
Yes.
Dennis Hart. Originally published in 1992. I was like, this book is that old? So the story with this book and me is that I have the paperback copy. And I got it at a library sale for $1. And the paperback copy compared to the hardcover is like half of the width, you know? So I started reading it, and then something happened, life happened, and I put it down. And I did enjoy it, but I need to pick it back up. And Book of the Month, the great thing about Book of the Month is that you can go back through their whole catalog and get, if there's any older books available, they had this available in hardcover. So I splurged and I put a credit. I used a credit to get a hard copy of it. But this absolutely is one that I have to get to because it's like the Bible for dark academia, whatever that little genre is. So, yeah, Secret History. Looking forward to it.
I read that in March of this year.
Did you?
I did.
And did you enjoy it?
I really enjoyed. I read it for an in-person book group.
Okay.
I'm the only man in this book group.
Okay.
And everyone, all the ladies hated this book. They just were harping on, I can't believe this book is this bad.
Wow.
One of the issues that one of them had is, I don't think college students drink that much.
Probably. I think they do.
I said, yes, they do drink that much.
Yeah.
Because Donna Tartt is 1 year older than me, I think.
Is she? Okay.
Well, and I know she went to Bennington College. And when I was applying to colleges, I applied to Bennington. Now, I did not get into Bennington because you have to be really super smart and get like fabulous grades and SAT scores super high. And like mine were like, you know.
Yeah.
So I didn't get in, but I was like, gee, if I ever studied harder in high school, I would have met her at Bennington. But
Yeah. You could have met her at a Kager.
yeah. No, it's one of those books that one of the most fascinating things I found is that they do a lot about the Greek language.
Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm.
And I was reading this, I said, darn, I should have studied Greek.
Mm-hmm.
And then later in the year, also for the same book group, we did Cloud Cuckoo Land.
Oh, okay.
And that also has a big part about translating ancient Greek languages.
Okay.
And I'm going like, I really missed out. I think I really would have enjoyed studying ancient Greek, but
Yeah.
It's not an easy language
Mm-mm.
to understand. Nope. Al was going, didn't Kurosawa do a Richard? Yes, he did. Ran. RAN is the Japanese title. Watch it a long time ago. And Al, again, based on reading about a book, Secret History, The Shadow in Us All, is likely how many of us would not like the book? I don't know. I mean, based on the books you've read, I think you probably really enjoy Secret History. Like you said, it's a lot of things in there. A lot of drinking and drug usage in college, but even though I didn't go to Bennington, I can say that happened when I was attending college pretty frequently.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Garrett's leaving. Bye, Garrett.
Bye, Gareth.
Good night.
Yeah, we've been on for an hour and a half, so probably about time. Do you have any more books?
Nothing of note. They're more modern than anything.
Yeah, I have one more book that I was going to show, but it was a book for Alan.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, I would like to thank everyone.
Yeah.
For showing up. If anyone in the chat room would like to join for a group, stream, just leave me a message because I'd like to do this again with other people and get some more voices going.
Mm-hmm. And everybody, make sure you smash the like button.
Yes, that would help a lot.
Yeah.
So, thank you everyone who showed up tonight.
And thank you for having me.
Well, I'm glad you volunteered to join. It was great.
Absolutely.
Okay. Goodbye, everyone.
Good night, everyone.